This episode is sponsored by Smart Travel, a new podcast from NerdWallet. You know that one friend who always finds the best travel deals, picks the right cards, and somehow ends up in first class for the price of coach? How do they do that? Well, Smart Travel is like that friend, but in podcast form. They cover all things travel finance, like which travel cards earn their keep and which are just heavy, shiny metal, and planning group trips that won't ruin your budget or your friendships. So travel smarter and spend less. That's the key with help from NerdWallet. Follow Smart Travel wherever you get your podcasts. Armchair-explorer is a part of the Voyescape podcast network. Check out all of their shows from around the world at voyescape.com. Welcome to Elements of AlUla, Earth, Air, Water, and Fire. In this series, we're going to take you on a journey into the heart of one of the most ancient kingdoms on Earth. Located in the northwestern corner of Saudi Arabia, AlUla is an oasis in the desert layered in 200,000 years of human history. Each episode will explore a single element, the heritage of Earth, the adventure of air, and today, the community of water, revealing a place still largely undiscovered by the outside world. These are the elements of AlUla. We've just arrived in the city of Tayma, which is a couple hours through the desert from AlUla, and it's incredible. We've come here to watch the Ancient Kingdoms Festival, and as soon as we arrived, we're welcomed with this wonderful music. There's drummers playing, there's people dancing. I can't wait to see some more. There's going to be a parade later too, so let's go and check it out. The Ancient Kingdoms Festival celebrates the history of the region's three great oases, AlUla, Khaybar, and Tayma. In the desert, water is precious. For people to survive, they needed to work together and trust each other. From the labyrinth of AlUla's old town to the ancient kingdom of Tayma, the story of water is the story of AlUla's people and how they built a thriving community in one of the most inhospitable places in the world. Because water doesn't just give life to the oases, it nourishes arts and culture and music too.
The songs they sing are for different purposes.
This is our guide, Laura Alho, who you'll remember from episode 1 and 2.
You know, they would sing them before wars to gather their courage and, that kind of stuff. Or just their own song, like the pride of their own family and tribe.
Music's so amazing to transport you back in time, isn't it? Like, you close your eyes and you just listen to that, you can picture all that.
We don't even have to close our eyes because we're already back in time here in Tayma,
right, yeah,
actually.
Exactly. Tayma sits on the western edge of the Al Nafud Desert, a flat and barren land stretching as far as the eye can see. Which is what makes this city all the more spectacular, for within this endless emptiness, suddenly, life appears. The author of The Little Prince, Antoine de Saint-Exupéry, said what makes the desert special is that somewhere it hides a well. So that's where we're going to begin our story of water, at one of the most famous and ancient wells in Arabia. This is so cool. We're right next to a 2,500-year-old well. It's actually mentioned in the Bible. That's how old it is. And there's 3 camels pulling a pulley system that's connected to the well. And what they're demonstrating here is how water used to be collected more than 2,000 years ago. It's really cool. Have you seen this before?
I have not seen this before. I had only been able to imagine it in my mind. So 2,000 years ago, you would have had much more camels here. Now we're seeing 3 camels demonstrate the process of pulling water out of this well that's more than 2,000 years old and still has water in it, naturally. So that's how huge it is. It's literally like a huge swimming pool, actually. When you look at it, it's not a well. When you think about what a well, you think a hole. So it's so big that people used to know this well. And they talked about the town of Tayma because it became famous. This is what made Tayma famous. camel caravans stopping by here. Everyone wants water, right? So this would have been going on for hours and hours and hours, right? And there would have been more than 70 camels doing it.
70 camels.
Yeah. Imagine the noise here when it's 70.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
The well, or Bir Hadaj as it's called, is about 60 feet across and more than 30 feet deep. Rows of minhala, wooden pulley wheels used to draw the water, line thick beams laid atop its high stone walls.
So if we go a little bit closer from over there and go and really see how they're pulling out the water with the leather bags. So you have a boy over there like holding the rope. Another one is holding the camel. Now the camel comes. They dip the buckets into the water. Now the camel's turning around. It goes on this track all the way to the back until the water comes up. And I could imagine what they would have done then is have big pots of water over there until it fills up. Each takes its water, and then next one in line. Maybe there's a line of people here with big, you know?
I can imagine.
Yeah, I can just imagine it, yeah.
The inhabitants of the land of Tayma brought water to him that was thirsty. They prevented with their bread him that fled. That's the quote from the Bible where this well is mentioned. And though it has been restored, Tayma was buried in the 5th century and abandoned. It has since been returned to its original state, and it feels like nothing much has changed since those words were first written. This is the moment we've been waiting for. The parade's just about to start. There's a beautiful little courtyard here with some stalls set up just as they would have been 2,500 years ago when the city was founded. And if I look just beyond that, in the shade of some date palms, there's a line of horses and musicians. It's amazing. Let's just listen in.
من يستطيع أن يحصي كم مرة أشرقت الشمس فوق هذه الواحة القديمة.
Bir Hadaj is at the center of the ancient settlement of Tayma, a maze of winding passageways and crumbling mud brick walls, still being excavated by archaeologists to this day. Palm trees rise from the ruins, framing a large open-air courtyard where a crowd has gathered to watch the show. So the whole reenactment and the parade is being done in Arabic, but I've got a translation device, so I'm going to attempt to try and translate some of what we're hearing. All right, the camels are coming out and the horses. Wow, this is massive parade and everyone's dressed in traditional dress and the horses are adorned in colorful decoration. The reenactment tells the story of the founding of Tayma here at the heart of the Incense Road, and Nabonidus, the last Babylonian king who lived here in the 6th century BC. It's incredibly dramatic. The first horses are coming past us now, followed by a train of bright camels with their finely woven rugs of red and orange and blue patterns. And then following that is a procession of women and men dressed traditionally, soldiers, pilgrims. Okay, and just behind, I can see there's lots happening actually. Just behind the main parade, there's a guy actually climbing up a date palm, using the traditional method of strapping himself in. Let's listen into the play here.
كان كل من اللبان والمر والبخور ثمينين جدا.
Incense was very expensive.
في جميع أنحاء العالم القديم. In
the ancient world, the desire for perfume was very big. They wanted to bury their dead with dignity and honor, and they would use the incense for that. Here they come out, the women in golden crowns bearing the incense. I can smell that from here coming through. It's delicious clove and cardamom and sandalwood. This was the incense trail, and it really smells like that now too. And it's so fun because where we're standing and watching this isn't just for tourists. In fact, I think we're the only tourists here. Everyone here is a local and watching their own history, their ancestors' history. Oh wow, here comes 2 horsemen galloping into the ring, followed by a troop of soldiers on swords. Chamsi, queen of the Arabs, arrives, adorned in flowing robes, and asks her people for support against the Assyrians who are imposing heavy taxes. We do not submit to anyone. We bear your tribute. We we will combine our forces with yours. And here they're attacking with swords and fighting each other in the center of the field. The look in their eyes. This means something to them. Wow, everyone's just on a front flip. They swing their axes, jumping and spinning in unison. Wow, 3 black flips, that was amazing. That's incredible. The Queen Champsy rides away from the parade, followed by her soldiers and the galloping horses. It's amazing. Tayma, the desert gate, became an irresistible temptation for another Mesopotamian ruler, Nabonidus, king of Babylon. Here he comes now on his chariot. Wow! Flanked on either side by soldiers in white stallions. The red robe of the king standing proud on his chariot. Nabonidus speaks to the crowd, saying how he withdrew from his home Babylon and stayed in Tayma for 10 years, how he built a palace as grand as his homes and constructed this well of Hadaj in honor of his gods. Now, he says, Tayma is my Babylon. The king is riding his chariot past us now, staring each one of us in the eye. This horse is kicking, it's angry, and now it gallops away. Oh my god, he's going fast. Full speed. So amazing. This is incredible. All people of Tayma, bring water to these thirsty people and food to these weary refugees. And Tayma succeeded in surviving and maintained a great city, a green oasis, and a destination for traders. Here comes the queen again, now with the king by her side. All the people, the priests, the soldiers walk forward. Yes!
That was amazing. I felt like I was literally transported back into 3,000 years ago.
I didn't know what to expect, but that was so dramatic, and to see it all so close.
I hope you really enjoyed
This is my Babylon. Oh my gosh!
500 years after the last king of Babylon left Tayma, the Nabateans arrived in AlUla. They built monumental tombs in Hegra, which we explored in episode 1 and flew over in episode 2. But they also harnessed the power of water, carving carefully engineered channels to funnel rainwater into caves where it could be stored. It was ingenious for the time. But even more important than the water that fell from the sky was the water that came from the ground. Like Tayma, AlUla too owes its existence to underground natural springs from which bloomed one of the largest oases in the world, Daimuma.
We have here in Saudi Arabia more than 400 types of dates, and the most famous ones is Hilwa Hamra and Berni.
This is our tour guide Ashwag, who's leading us through a part of the oasis called the Palm Grove.
And also we have more than 2,500,000 palm trees, and they produce each year 19,000 tons. And people in AlUla in the past, they used to treat with the dates instead of money, because the palm trees are hard to plant and hard to produce, and also they consume a lot of water, and they used to give the bride before the weddings dates instead of the money.
Yeah. Can we try that today? Go into a shop with some dates, or not anymore?
No, not these days. We like money now.
That's our producer, Jason Patton, by the way, who you may remember from our previous episodes. And other than eating the dates and making delicious date shakes, which I had today, and it was like the most delicious milkshake I've ever had, what do they use dates for, and what do you still use them for today?
I had the other day a dates cake and a dates cookie, and also you can have stuffed dates with nuts, and they will dip it in a chocolate or pistachio, and it will be so delicious. You can make it at home or you can buy it from the market.
I'm going to look out for that at the market. That's a good tip. That sounds great. The Tayma oasis is formed from rainwater funneling down from the mountain slopes. When it arrives in the valley, it is sucked beneath the soil by a layer of sponge-like basalt, where it becomes trapped, forming a natural aquifer that feeds those 2.5 million palm trees. The palm tree was known here as the tree of life. It produced not only dates, but also building materials and, crucially, shade, which allowed other plants to grow: oranges, grapefruits, lemons, aromatic herbs, figs, olives, and more. For centuries, AlUla's farmers have carefully cultivated the oasis and found ways to make it flourish. But they couldn't do it alone.
Now we will go to the old well, and I will explain to you about it. As you can see, it is very huge.
Wow.
People around this area, the farmers specifically, comes and dig this well by their bare hands. Yeah, it took them a lot of effort, so they decided to use it all together. They put 3 people in charge. The first one is the judge. When 2 people come to fight about the water of the well, they will go to him and he will solve their problem. The second one is the teacher. He was responsible about how amount of water you can get. And the third one is the leader. He is the one who is responsible about the camel that will take the water out of the well.
Water was precious. People took only what they needed and used every drop. In fact, the name Tayma means sustainability. And like the Nabateans before them, the people of AlUla were expert hydrologists. To harness the power of water, they built a complex network of underground channels which irrigated fields and connected houses, and they're still in use to this day.
During the summer, they will come to live here nearby their farms, because the farms need more care during the summer.
And the summer, I bet, is a little bit cooler here among the shade of the palm trees.
Actually, the summer houses, because they are made from the mud, they prevent the sun heat and make the weather inside them less than 20 degrees than the outside.
It's incredible looking at the architecture here. It looks exactly like the surrounding soil and ground.
It was to make mud blocks, then put it in the top of each other, then come and cover it with fermented mud. Then the rain will never gonna get through.
It seems like it would take a lot of work to build a house. Was it a bit of a community effort?
Yeah, but Arab in general like to work together. So all the houses are actually made from the whole AlUla people. They will come and build the house, and the other people will go and build the other houses, and they all share the same oasis.
Do you think in a place like this, where you have this narrow band of life, where the water brings life to the area and is surrounded by desert, that you have to work together in a way?
Yeah, because they build it together, so they don't have any choice just to live together. Even if they have problems, they will think, no, we build this together, we shouldn't let our problems step in our ways. So this is what makes them strongly connected.
From the ruins of the old well and farmhouses, we walk past gardens and fields, playgrounds, a treehouse, sunlight breaking through the canopy, birds stealing dates from palm trees above. And you know, it's lovely. I didn't know what to expect, but it's really a public space that people are using. There's little blankets laid out and people are reading books and relaxing. And
actually, most of the people come here to Tayma to forget about their job, their problems, and just to relax and have fun with their children. Tayma is a combination between heritage, art, and nature. Everywhere you look, you can see a piece of art.
The first one we come across is by the Japanese sound artist Yuri Suzuki, a multicolored tangle of horn-shaped pipes twisting like a Dr. Seuss tree.
He built this instruction to teach the people to communicate through the sound, and also to listen to the sounds of the nature and imagine it like music.
Okay, so I'm gonna lean in here. Yeah, it's that sounds funny. It's amplified. So if we go to this one over here, it'll come out up to the top there. So is it marhaba? Is the
Yeah,
hello?
it is marhaba.
Marhaba. Okay, I'm gonna say marhaba.
It's so clear.
Marhaba, Jason.
Try to whisper.
Hello, AlUla.
You can hear it.
It's clear as day, yeah.
I'm having so much fun in Tayma. That's brilliant. The things like this just turn me into a bit of a kid. I want to run around and do another one now. Further down is another installation. Two seemingly simple brick walls placed side by side in an open field.
And this is the piece art of Talin Hasber. She's an Syrian artist. She come here to study art in AlUla for 3 months in 2021. And she really liked the stories of AlUla people. So she asked them to record the sounds of their stories and ask them in the same time to get her a soil from the place that the story happened in it. So she made this bricks and put it like a wall. So if you go inside and close your eyes, you can hear the whispers of AlUla people. Their emotions surround you. Would you like to go inside and try it?
Yes, I really want to go in. This is a really incredible sculpture, really, isn't it? There's different bricks here.
And it is so emotional for AlUla people because it is represent our story and our land. Because all these bricks come from different places from AlUla. Yeah.
And it carries the messages, the whispers of each brick.
Yeah, it is. Actually, she was listening to the stories when she was made in the bricks. So as I tell, if you go inside, you can hear them whisper to you.
Do you think the earth does hold stories?
Of course. Like, look out for all the heritage around it, the old houses and all the soil that we walk, and the people in the past walk in the same soil. It actually holds more story than the people themselves. Yeah.
I love when art is combined with nature like this. It really inspires you to slow down and listen. And so often in our daily lives today, we're busy and we're, looking at social media or our phones or whatever. And in this beautiful place, it just says, slow down, listen to the trees, listen to the stories.
Yeah,
it's
actually
beautiful.
Here in Daymuma, rarely you see someone walk with their face down to their phone. They always look around and try to listen to the birds and the wind and the nature around them.
An oasis of mind and body and earth.
Yeah. And this was the end of our tour. I hope you enjoyed with me.
I enjoyed your company immensely and your knowledge and your fantastic storytelling. Thank you so much. I've never been to a place like this, a true oasis in the desert. It has a really magical feel to it. People have gathered here for thousands of years under the shade of these palm trees. It has a calming effect. This vibrant, lush green set against these orange and dark red rocks and canyons on either side. This is the place where life springs from the desert. This is the place where travelers have come for thousands upon thousands of years, and you can feel that here. Because the water that they found here brings more than just these palm trees and this plant life. It's brought life of all kinds. It brought art, it brought culture, it brought music, it brought people. It brought me. The scarcity of water, this narrow band of life in the desert, demanded cooperation. There was no other way to survive. That cooperation built community, and from that community, like a river flowing into the sea, an entire culture emerged. If Earth holds our stories, it's water that writes the first page. Art has been an essential part of AlUla's culture for thousands of years. The caravans that stopped here on the Incense Road wanted more than water to drink and feed their camels. They needed all kinds of goods. pottery, rugs, swords, metalwork, and the people of AlUla provided it. They became renowned artisans, and it's a tradition that is still being carried on today. Madrasat Adira is an art school for women located in the main town of AlUla. Their mission is to keep the art of AlUla alive by empowering young women to learn traditional craftwork from jewelry making to basket weaving. So we've just stepped into the pottery room, and I'm standing in the background a little bit, and everyone's working very, very hard, carving intricate designs and learning how this traditional process of pottery making works. And I'm talking quietly because I don't want to put everyone off, but I'm excited to find out more because the people here were very smart, and they would tailor the arts and crafts they would make for the visitors that came, whether it's swords or horses or pottery like I'm seeing now. And I'll see if I can sneak in for a closer look and just peek over this one artist's shoulder and see what's going on. It's very beautiful. Is it hard to do? No?
It's not hard.
It looks like if I did it, I would just mess it up straight away.
First time, of course.
Yeah. I can tell you've been doing it a while because you created a perfect circle, and and that must be very, very hard to do.
Week.
No way. It's your second week.
We start with handmade pottery.
Okay.
Handmade, and then we go with the wheels.
Yeah, it's very hands-on. You got muddy hands. You know, so you got wet hands with clay. You know that you're working hard.
Thank you.
After the students graduate, their work is sold in a small boutique in the Old Town Market, helping to provide them with an independent income stream. We visit a textile studio where aprons and oven mitts are being made, peek into a basket making lesson where palm leaves are being woven together in intricate patterns as they have for centuries. And then we come to the metalwork studio where a young woman named Alan shows us a wax relief she just finished carving, which will then be cast into a finished piece of jewelry.
All of our designs we inspired from AlUla. So we get inspired from the nature, from the drawings on the mountains. So yeah, this is one of our pieces that we made. It's a stone from AlUla.
That's beautiful. So what stone is this? It's a beautiful red, deep red stone. It's set into a silver bracelet.
It's agate.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we use glass stones, small glass stones to decorate the design.
And a little sparkling glass on the rim there, which is absolutely beautiful. So is it important for you to be carrying on the tradition of arts and crafts here in AlUla?
Yeah, it's an important thing for all of the cultures that we have the crafts and we pass it from generation to another generation. So it's a really important thing to have our identity through our craft.
So when you first came here, what was your inspiration? Why did you want to come to the school?
Actually, I started before with my father. He is not a jeweler, he is stone carving. He gets stones from AlUla and he carve it.
Yeah.
And then I work on the metal. And then we got a piece. But he always inspired me. And when we get to learn how to carve the stones, I get inspired by that. When we collect stones in our trips, how we can make this piece into elegant piece. So yeah, we carve the stone. I carve the stones with my father, and then when the Madrasat Adira opened in jewelry course, so I immediately joined to them because I really need it. I have multiple stones, but I don't know how to place it onto jewelry. So yeah, now I can do it.
He must be very proud of you.
I hope so.
So what do you look for when you find a stone?
For me, I don't collect stones for the kind of the stones. I collect it because of its beauty. So I always take this and put it into the sun, and I see the sun shine through. So yeah, this is the important thing for me, that the piece is beautiful, it has colors, but the kind of stones that I collect from AlUla, it's quartz, serpentine, agate.
Do they look differently when you hold it up?
Yeah, because you can see the colors inside the stone. Sometimes we don't see it, it's all brown, but when you wash it and you put it into the sun, it's beautiful. It's multiple colors inside.
That must be an amazing feeling to pick the stone up, look at it and say, that's the one. That's the one I want to make jewelry out of. That's wonderful.
I love how impassionate the ladies are here. And it's like they go to all these workshops and they're bringing alive the heritage back, right? They're going back to their roots and all these things that their grandmothers knew how to do. And now they're learning. It's like the new generation is coming and they're getting excited about it again. And some of these students actually who are here now as teachers, they used to be here as students of the school. And now they're back here again. So it's really incredible.
The art school is a good example of the spirit of AlUla today. Saudi Arabia is going through rapid change. AlUla has only been open to tourists for a few years, but like the Incense Road of old, tourism, by opening up to the world, is helping to accelerate that change. But not at the expense of the past.
Hello.
Thank you, hi.
So before we start, you are more than welcome to try our Saudi coffee and some dates.
This is our guide, or Rawi, Abdul Razak.
Oh, wonderful. I've heard many good things about your Saudi coffee, and I'm feeling like I could use a cup right now. Wow,
it's
thank you.
It's a good refresher before we start the tour, because of course you're going to need caffeine.
Always. Thank you. It smells very different. What's different about the Saudi coffee?
We add clove and cardamom to it.
Oh, I can really smell that now. Yeah, delicious.
Also, you are more than welcome to try some of the local dates but with add-ons.
Okay.
Yeah. All of them are the best. If you want to try the best taste in Saudi coffee, you should eat a date with it.
Oh, really?
Because the aftertaste, when you eat a date and then drink coffee after it, it's different. It's remarkable.
Okay. So I'm opening my date here. So this is how you enjoy the coffee. So bite of the date and then a sip of the coffee.
Yes.
All right. I'm nodding my head with a big smile on my face.
Most of the locals here, when they serve coffee to the guests, they also serve dates with it.
Okay.
And it's one of the traditions of our hospitality for all the guests that come to our houses.
Fantastic.
Okay, so we always start our tours next to the market area where we are currently, because this area, it used to be one of the most important stopping points for travelers for thousands of years, not just close to our period of time, because there was an ancient trading road known as the Incense Road. This road started from the south of the Arabian Peninsula all the way to the north side of the Arabian Peninsula. And one of the major stopping points, as I told you, AlUla, because AlUla used to be one giant oasis filled with water wells, water springs, green trees. So basically we are in a World Trading Center, but for thousands of years ago. Even after Islam, Muslims that go to Mecca to do Hajj and Umrah, they pass by this area. This trail that is next to us in the market area or in the souk area is the actual road that travelers used to ride on and walk on. So it's an original piece that we have in the old town. So we're gonna go through this trail to the right side of us, which is called Abu al-Hasan Trail. By the way, the whole city of AlUla used to be surrounded by a big wall that have 14 gates. Every gate is guarded by a tribe or a family that is next to it, living next to it, I mean. Of course, Abu al-Hasan family is living next to this gate, so we are going to enter by their gate now.
We're kind of stepping down into the city now, but you can see the rooftops kind of peeking up overhead.
Okay, so watch your steps, please.
At its height, there are around 900 homes here, as well as 500 shops and 5 town squares, all connected to each other like a maze to deter invaders. The architecture is beautiful. The doors of the houses are made from the heart of the date tree with original wooden locks outside each one. Narrow alleys wind between mud brick houses covered in palm leaves. It feels medieval, but also like an extension of the earth itself. But like the earth itself, when the rains came, the houses were in danger of being washed away.
That's why there's a tradition in the old town of AlUla that every time after a rainy season, let's say, the young men in each neighborhood in this old town, they gather together and start rebuilding the houses one by another one, all of them together until they rebuild the whole houses. So more connected community back then for them.
So every single one of these houses and walls that we're walking through now is repaired and rebuilt by the community every year?
Yes, exactly. And by the way, there's a cool tradition back then. Weddings that happens in this area are 7 days long. The first 2 days, the friends and family, the men especially, that are close to the broom, they all gather, and if the broom have a house, they're gonna redecorate his house.
Okay.
If he doesn't have a house, they will build him a house. That's why you see the houses over here are connected.
Oh, yeah.
The rest of the 3 days are where they invite friends and families, and they make the ceremony for 3 days straight back then.
Wow. They used to have good friends.
Yes.
You have a lot of friends, you get a nicer house.
No, but this is telling us that the community back then, it was connected together, and they all help each other. And this is like a good value that we want to send to the current generation and the future generation.
There's not many places in the world where I could imagine that still happens. The communities come together and help one another in that sort of way.
That's why we are trying hard to preserve this value and share it with the whole generation, the next generation.
That's beautiful.
Okay, so we are now in this courtyard where the locals used to gather, especially the farmers, waiting for their water shares so they can water their farms. In the daytime, they used to have this sundial behind us, which is called by the locals as at-tantura, and they use the shade of it to divide the water shares. There's a man called al-muallim. Al-muallim, it's been the teacher. He's the one responsible for dividing the water shares. He used small rocks, and he read where is the trail of the shade of the tantura going to, and he put a rock after a rock in this space.
Between your thumb and your forefinger if you stretch it. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And this distance is called waraqa. Waraqats mean paper.
The Tantura sundial is on top of a stone wall, its shadow ticking across the courtyard like the minute hand of a clock. But as well as judging water shares, Tantura was also used to predict the seasons.
Every year, on the 22nd of December, the locals here gather in this yard and follow the track of the shade of the tantura, and there's a mark. On the 22nd of December, the shade is gonna hit that mark. When it hits it, it's the announcement of the entrance of a season called al-marba'aniya. Al-marba'aniya, it's mean 40 days, and it's 40 days of super cold weather, super cold winter. In that season alone, temperatures here in AlUla go as low as 3 below 0 Celsius. It's super cold.
So what would they do once they know it's the 40 days? Would everyone kind of just groan and walk off?
Well, they grab the wood and wear the jackets.
Better get some more, better get some more firewood. And would they use this for other timing of other seasons, like harvesting crops or anything like that?
Yes, exactly. They use it for harvesting crops and also announcing entrance for other seasons. Like we have in the summertime another season called Al-Marba'ani also. But it's 40 days, but not super cold. It's the complete opposite. And temperatures here in AlUla go as high as 48 Celsius. Super hot.
48 Celsius is about 125 Fahrenheit, something like that. So that is insanely hot. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Those are the 40 days to avoid.
Yes, exactly.
Just behind the courtyard is the AlUla Fort, a towering stronghold built on top of a 150-foot rocky outcrop. Known to the locals as Musa bin Nusayr, it was built around 1200 years ago during the Islamic period in order to secure the area from potential invaders.
AlUla, it's very safe and very peaceful. There is no documented history of its being attacked or, let's say, someone want to invade this area. Because, as I told you, it's a trading center for the Arabian Peninsula at least. This area, one of the forms of security that it's have is a wall containing 14 gates in it. Also, there is the Wall of Seven, and it's starting from the mountain on the left side of the valley, connecting to the mountain in the opposite side, on the right side of the valley, and it's called the Wall of Seven. So there's three forms of security: the wall surrounding the city, the Wall of Seven, and the fort. But it's never been attacked. So the watchtower, it's never been used as a watchtower. So what they do, they reused it into an announcement platform. Let's say that in the moon date or the Islamic calendar, tomorrow is Ramadan. They will hire someone to go to the top of that fort and shout the announcement of tomorrow being Ramadan.
And people could hear them? I mean, it's quite far away. It's a couple hundred feet high.
I believe that they're gonna hire people with very loud voice.
Hire the opera singers. Yeah.
I imagine that if I was living back then, I'm gonna have a lot of money doing this job.
Absolutely. Could you take me back 700 years or 500 years to when this place was bustling back in the day? What would it have looked like? What would be happening here right now?
What would be happening here in this courtyard where we are now? There used to be, let's say, one of the housemen here. He's selling dates in front of his house. Children trade drinks or lollipops for dates. They have dates as a currency for them. Women are sitting together on the rooftops of the houses, chatting. The market area, or called by the locals the souk area, it's filled with people trading items, camels coming from the north and the south. So these neighborhoods were filled with life.
The other thing that is really interesting is, although we're in a piece of living history here still, people actually moved out quite recently.
Exactly. The last family that moved out of this area, they say that it moved out in 1984, not too long ago.
It just seems kind of amazing to me that, you know, wandering through these streets, this labyrinth of stone houses and alleyways, it feels very medieval almost. But people actually lived here to the 1980s.
Yes, I know a lot of people nowadays that they are in the 40s and 50s of their age. They say that they remember their childhood in the neighborhoods or the paths of the old town. They remember when they play hide and seek. So this is amazing, yes.
I bet this is the best place for hide and seek in the world.
Yes, it is, yes. you should be sure about that.
Only if you're hiding, though. I wouldn't want to be a seeker here.
Yes, it's going to be a hard job when you are a seeker.
We leave Abdul Razak and head out of the old town and into a market street bustling with boutique stores, coffee shops and restaurants. And that moment, that single step from the past to the future, is a metaphor for what AlUla is all about. Because while wandering through the labyrinth of Old Town streets is like stepping back in time, it's not stuck in the past.
So we're here on the Incense Road, and along this we have all these amazing coffee shops. We have some boutiques where they're selling all the traditional crafts. We'll see the ones from the Madrasa Dira, the ladies selling all of these traditional crafts, and local produce as well.
Fantastic. It's gorgeous too. The sun's just set and it's little lights up everywhere. It's absolutely gorgeous.
Exactly. This is where the locals and even the tourists, they tend to come like after sunset.
Yeah.
That's when it comes alive and all the boutiques open, and
This is the local hangout. All right, let's do it. Let's walk the Incense Road and have some fun.
All right, let's do it. And see how they're really keeping it here very low light, so no bright lights.
Yeah.
You can still see the stars.
Yeah.
Even if we're like in the middle of the city, you can still look up and see the stars.
That's beautiful. And it really gives you a sense of, I don't know, a sense of place.
And how it was back in the day.
Yeah,
would have been
exactly.
very similar, right? Yeah. And some of these would have been hotels. AlUla was always a place where people would have come when they were passing by on these trade routes and pilgrimage. They would be going on the way to Mecca, and sometimes they would leave their belongings in AlUla and then go to the pilgrimage and come back and collect the stuff here from AlUla, because they were so trustworthy, the people of AlUla, so you could just leave everything and not have to drag it all the way.
Wow, that's a pretty unusual reputation in the world. How far is Mecca from here?
Like by camel?
By camel,
Or
yes,
by-
exactly.
or
How
by
far by
car.
camel?
So let's say if it's in kilometers, let's say it's like 700 kilometers. So we can calculate.
Okay, so it's
That's just my off the
35
top of
camel
my head.
days from
Yeah.
here.
Camel days is my new favorite unit of measurement.
So this is now the arts district. So a lot of live performances, photography exhibitions, art installations are located in Al Jadida. They have these concerts, for example, from the balconies. So like in the old style, like yes, so they'll kind of sing from the balconies, and then you can listen here on the road. This is my favorite coffee shop, Coyard.
It smells good.
It smells so good. And there's an Italian gelato place over there.
And the Madrasat Adira Art School shop. It was closed, unfortunately. We were there pretty late, but we could peek through the window.
We can see the weaving that we saw
And
from
the
the palm
bags.
leaves and the bags
Yes.
that they've made, and the jewelry that's now on display. It's so interesting to see that come full circle, that the women that go there, that learn these crafts, and then they can come here, set up a small business and start selling their artwork here to everyone that comes
Make
down.
use of their skills, really, like
Yeah.
in practice. It's like the fruits of their work are here,
The fruits of
literally
their work
hanging
are
on
here.
display.
And, yeah, hanging like dates from a palm tree.
Yes, ready to harvest.
Ripe dates ready to pluck and harvest. Let's see how far we can extend this metaphor. Now let's go harvest some dinner.
The food in AlUla is oasis to plate. Date smoothies at pink camels surrounded by birdsong. Towers of beetroot rice and Wagyu beef at somewhere. That's the name of the restaurant. And perhaps best of all, Mariah Social. Fine dining under the stars in a literal work of art. Located in the middle of the Ashar Valley, mirrors cover every inch of the building's exterior, reflecting the desert like a modernist cube. But we're going to finish our story of water back in Tayma.
This is incredible. We've just come up to the walls of the old palace and found this troupe of sword dancers.
Yeah, it's called the Arda dancing, and they have one, like a specific one for each region of Saudi.
So what we're seeing now is 4 big bass drums in the back, and then either side lines of 6 men with swords on their shoulders, swaying with that hypnotic beat, and in the middle 2 older men, the conductors, directing them, and then 2 dancers as well with beautifully embroidered gold and black vests. It's hypnotic, it's mesmerizing. Listening to that music here on the edge of the palace is incredible.
I love how they're swaying.
Welcome. You are most welcome to the palace. This great palace was built 100 years ago by the 4 arms of Tayma and Prince عبد الكريم الرمان. اليوم انتم على موعد مع اكتشاف هذا القصر العظيم والتعرف على الامير عبد الكريم الرمان. Today you are in for a lot of exploration and joy to get to see this great palace. حياكم الله. Welcome in.
Ibn Ruman Palace is spectacular. A mud brick and stone castle covering more than 60,000 square feet with 40-foot walls and white-tipped turrets. We are here to watch, or take part in, I should say, an immersive play called The Palace Guest, which takes place within the walls of Ibn Ruman itself.
All right, we've literally been welcomed into the palace, so we're walking through the procession of dancers now with a group of locals. Everyone's in their traditional dress, dressed up for the occasion. Walking past the guards now, and through big, thick wood palace doors. Wow.
هذا الباب اللي وراكم صنعناه من خشب الإثم وهذا الخشب متواجد بكثرة عندنا في تيمة. This great palace, Ar-Rumman Palace, Tayma's palace. We built it from soil and clay. تفضلوا معي حياكم الله.
Okay, we're walking deeper into the palace. This is so cool.
Look at all these guards everywhere.
The palace was built in 1919 and named after Prince Sheikh Abdul Karim Al Ruman, ruler of Tayma at the time. We are shown the watchtowers, the summer mosque, the winter mosque. Much of it is open air, blazing blue skies set against stark red earth and stone.
Okay, coming through into the courtyard, welcomed by everyone.
Welcome to the guests of the palace. The prince will be delighted to see you and is waiting for your arrival impatiently.
يا مرحبا ويا هلا بضيوف تيمة.
The prince enters the courtyard through a set of double doors adorned in colorful regalia.
This is your home before it's mine. When I heard of your arrival, I personally wanted to accompany you, dear guests. My name is Abdul Karim ibn Ali al-Rumman. And this land you are on, it's called Al-Madra'i. This palace wasn't built only for me or my family. It was built for Tayma and the people of Tayma and their guests. شب النار واذبح الذبايح وقوم بواجب الضيوف. Set the fire and prepare the feasts. حياهم الله. تفضلوا. Welcome. Get comfortable.
Wow, that king is so impressive. He's come out in a golden robe and a golden sword and invited us into the inner lounge of the prince. This room is incredible. Everything is covered in beautiful tapestries and red carpets. Just been offered tea and we're sitting down now. The prince is just in front of us. There's sheepskin, there's rugs everywhere. The light is shining through the windows. And there's little trays in front of us of dates and other sweet treats.
You are joining us for dinner. And whoever enters the castle, it means he entered my home.
أنا كان عندي معلومات واليوم تأكدت منها بعد ما شفت حسن ضيافتكم وكرمكم.
A man enters and kneels before the prince. Is it true, he says, that you let pilgrims passing through eat and sleep at the palace?
That's our duty toward pilgrims and whoever pass by Tayma. And we do that to ensure that we keep our traditions. يلا حيهم يا هلا حياهم الله.
اللي سويته معي يا الأمير ما يسويه إلا شهر.
Another enters, thanking the prince for saving him.
What you have done with me is an act of courage, and I came back to thank you. I let the people bear witnesses. I am in the prince's debt for the rest of my life.
أنا ما سويت شيء يا ريان. أنت استجرتني وأنا جرتك. I have done nothing. You asked for my help, and I helped.
تفضلوا معي يا ربع. الأمير مجهز لكم عرض. The prince has organized you عرض. Come with me please. تفضلوا معي جميعا.
حياهم الله.
Come with me.
حياهم الله.
حياكم تفضلوا معي.
الله يحييك. We would love to see you again.
The play is a story of the past, but it's based on present-day truth. Because what it represents is what this story is all about. Community, hospitality, how a prince should treat a poor pilgrim, how the traditions that matter are the ones that bind us. We leave the palace and are swaying once more with the rhythm of the sword dancers and the beat of the drums.
We've just left the palace, the band is playing again, we're drinking sweet juices, we've had the most delicious tea, and now, as the sun sets, we're watching the sword dancers one last time, swaying with that hypnotic beat, dancing and jumping, hitting their drums. It is the most incredible living piece of performance and history, and bass drum, that bass, I can feel it resonating, pumping, hitting in my chest. And that's what it feels like with this history too. I could walk around this palace, I could walk around these streets, and I could think about history, but to hear it, to smell it, to see it, that's something else completely different. And it hits me just like that drum.
party.
The element of water is the people of AlUla, the people of Tamar and the great desert oases. To survive here required cooperation, trust, community. The springs that gave life to the oasis gave life to those values too. From water came art and culture and music and dancing and caravans and pilgrims and travelers like me today. And like a river, AlUla continues to flow and evolve, bridging the ancient world and the new. The element of water is the people of AlUla because, like the little prince said, the thing that makes a desert special is that somewhere it hides a well. And AlUla is that well. Shukran, thanks for joining us on Elements of AlUla, the community of water. If you're interested to find out more, go to experiencealula.com. @experiencealula is the handle for Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And a very special thank you to our travel companion and guide, Laura, for her expert knowledge and insight. Connect with her on Instagram @BlueAbaya. The Elements of AlUla was produced by Armchair Productions, the audio experts for the travel industry. Charles Tyree helped with the audio editing. Jason Patton did the field recording and production. I'm Aaron Miller. I wrote and presented the show. Thanks for listening. We'll see you again.
Quick question. Do you want travel tips from people who have actually been there?
Our show is co-hosted by Tim Johnson, an award-winning travel journalist who's been to more than 145 countries around the world. And I'm David Brody, the other co-host who's been travel podcasting for 20 years while traveling to 50-plus countries around the world.
In about 10 or 20 minutes per show, we break down a destination with the kind of insight you usually only get from long guidebooks or hours of research.
So if you want expert advice, zero fluff, and travel inspiration that you can actually use, search for Travel in 10 wherever you listen to podcasts, or you can also find us at boyescape.com.
Hi, I'm Pauline Fromer, host of the Fromer's Travel Podcast. We post new episodes weekly, detailing the kinds of money-saving tips and cultural insights that will make your trips richer without making you significantly poorer. We do so by interviewing real travel experts like TV host Samantha Brown, Fromer's authors from around the globe, and such public figures as Free Solo's Alex Honnold. It's a fun travel party. I hope you can join us.